deduction, take the 30% of NAV and you will get the standard. 30% of NAV 1,80,000, 30% you will take and deduct it from your and you will get the income from house property. This is how the sum goes. Such a simple chapter. See, please solve the entire for the if you are the first if you are solving this chapter for the first time, I suggest you to do all these 5 houses because it will give you a grip, and I want you to solve in this format only, specifically in this format, because in the exam if you will do this format, the paper collector will get an impression that you have an idea of municipal value, fair rent, standard rent, expected rent, actual rent. So it will give you a good impression to the examiner. See in this question how it is done: municipal value, fair rent, higher of 1 or 2, standard rent, expected rent, actual rent, GAV. So GAV, after that they have not shown anything. You have to do the entire calculation. Now wait, I'll show you what is the benefit of this income from house property. See, we have done this chapter, income which do not form part of the total income. I have taught this chapter. In this chapter, there are many a times question is given that SSC has earned the income in India from the rent, and the rent amount is given. So you have to do what you have to do is you have to take the rent amount as the net annual value and do deduction under section 24, that is standard deduction at the rate of 30% of NAV. You have to see what is the logic behind this. You are an SSC. Once you become a chartered accountant, an SSC will come and say, I have such incomes which income do not form part of my income which do not form part of the total income, and he shows you all the income, and he also gives you the income from house property. So you see it is say around 1 lakh rupees. So you will not take the entire 1 lakh rupees as income do not form part of the total income and put it in the income from house property head as 1 lakh. You have to do this standard deduction at the rate of 30% of NAV, that is 30,000, and deduct it and give him the income from house property 70,000, not 1 lakh. That is a wrong practice. Few chartered accountants do that, show their clients that no, there is no deduction now henceforth, so you have to pay entire 1 lakh and take the 30,000 and pocket it. That is a wrong thing. Many of the clients do not know, they are not so qualified, that's why they are putting their entire faith. Please don't do that in the future. See, I'll show you, I'll demonstrate you. Wait. There was a question while teaching this chapter I came across. I'm not finding it right now, but there are questions like that. When you're doing this sum, total income, such sum, there are questions there are given income from the resident, income from the house property is given from India, so you have to do in that manner. Wait, I have recalled. Wait, let me search. It will take hardly 1 or 2 minutes. See in this question it is given that in the question it is given that rent from the property in London deposited in the bank in London, later on remitted to India through approved banking channels. The rent from the property in London deposit, if he is the resident, an ordinary resident, if he is resident and ordinary resident, such income will be chargeable to him. If you remember, my first lecture was on this chapter. The 3 columns I have given you: resident, ordinary resident. I have given you the chart and I have shown the Indian income, foreign income, which will be part of his total income. I have given you the entire chart. I hope you have all studied it. Please refer it. Please turn the pages and see. So such income will be the rent from the house property in London deposited in bank in London, later on remitted to India through approved channel. For a resident and ordinary resident, it will be taxable. It will be taxable. It will be taxable. So to get some benefit, the rent received assumed as gross annual value. You assume it as a net annual value. Assume there was no municipal taxes. Put a dash and take 75,000 as net annual value less deduction under section 24, 30% of 75,000, 22,500 income from house property, 52,500. This is page number 2.12, resident and scope of total income. See, I was telling you. I've taught you with the entire chapter. I think you have no problem with it. I'll take a quick revision. Please solve the sum from the practice manual. If you have any problem solving the sum in the practice manual, just put the question number and the comment, and comment that you have problem in the particular sum. I'll make a video specific on that sum and upload it. My uploads are quite slow because there are many technical errors which I am facing. So please adjust with it. So we'll start with our revision. What we have learned today: heads of income. The second head, income from house property. To get charged under income tax, under income from house property, there are conditions. What are the conditions? The first condition is very common sense, that there should be a house property. The SSC should be having a house property. Such house property should be given on rent. If they are not given on rent, so there are other conditions for that we have already learned. If they are more than one house of the SSC, then what to do? Property, rent, let out property, non-rent, self-occupied property, and deemed let out property. If the SSC has more than one house, and the other houses in which if the SSC is having more than one houses, in one house he is staying and other house he has not put on rent, so such house will also come under taxation, under deemed let out property, that is DLOP. Format to calculate income from house property. Following income statement should be made. This is mandatory to be made in the exam. You will score good marks. Municipal value, fair rent, whichever has higher will become the next head, whichever is higher. After the standard rent, whichever is lower will become expected rent. Expected rent and actual rent, whichever is higher will become GAV. Then less municipal taxes. Net annual value, we'll get net annual value less deduct under section 24. Interest on loan, standard deduction at the rate of 30% of NAV is given as a relief to the SSC. Such relief is given to only deemed let out property and let out property owners, not the self-occupied property. Interest on loan is deduction under section 24 is given as a relief to self-occupied property holders also. You will get income from house property. How to calculate vacancy rent? I told what is vacancy rent. Vacancy period. The tenant whom you have given the property on rent for a year, that is 12 months, do not stay for all 12 months and leave the property, say in 10 months, and pay rent for only 10 months, and remaining 2 months he do not pay the rent. So here the actual rent criteria comes. How to solve such thing? There is a formula. Vacancy period formula. Actual rent plus vacancy period rent, whichever is higher will become actual rent plus vacancy rent. If it is higher than expected rent, then GAV will become actual rent. If actual rent plus vacancy rent is less than expected rent, then GAV will become expected rent minus vacancy period rent. Interest on loan. Interest on loan on LOP and DLOP is unlimited. To unlimited interest is allowed as deduction under section 24, but for the self-occupied property holders purchased or constructed the property, if the loan is taken before 1499, maximum rupees 30,000 per annum will be allowed as deduction. If the loan is taken after 1499, maximum of rupees 2 lakh per annum will be allowed as deduction. But if the SOP holder is having only one property and the property is about to get collapsed, so he is making repairs and renovation to it, and he has taken loan for it, maximum 30,000 per annum will be allowed as deduction. Municipal taxes. Municipal taxes, what I have will become the what will less from GAV. What it is, municipal taxes are allowed as deduction only if it is paid. Only if it is paid. If it is not paid, it is not allowed as deduction. The expense should go out of the pocket of the owner and not of the tenant. That is, therefore, municipal taxes is allowed on paid basis. Paid basis. Such, underline this. It might come as an objective for 1 mark. What is municipal tax? There are many names of municipal tax: local tax, water tax, property tax, house tax, cess on municipal tax, scavenging tax, sewage tax. Municipal tax is allowed, if any, only if paid by the owner. If the municipal tax is paid by the tenant, then it will not be allowed as deduction. That is, the municipal tax expenses should be borne by the owner and not by the tenant, and the expense should go out of the pocket of the owner and not of the tenant. These 2 points, I hope you have get it totally clear. The remaining 2 points are the points, it might come for true or false or 1 or 2 marks, or it might come for in the question also. While solving the sum, the municipal tax is paid by the tenant, or the municipal tax amount is remitted by the owner to the tenant to pay it, and such municipal tax will not be allowed as deduction. Are you understanding it? I'll read it for you once. If the municipal tax amount is remitted by the owner and paid by the tenant, it won't be allowed as deduction. If the municipal tax amount is remitted by the tenant to the owner and the owner pays the tax, it will be allowed as deduction. So I hope you understand and the concept gets clear in your mind. One more, interest on loan on SOP, that is self-occupied property. Pre-construction loan. You are constructing a house property, and such house property is not constructed yet, so you can't claim it as deemed let out property or self-occupied property, whatever. So, but you are paying interest for the loan you have taken on it. So such period, the period can be more than 2 years, 3 years, it can be 5 years, it can be 10 years also. Many times a huge property takes time to get constructed. So such property has taken time, and the total interest of all the years, say assume it was 10 years. So 10 years into the rate of 10 years, and the rate of interest that you have paid will be total together and divided by 5 and will be spread in 5 equal years. See, purchase and construction before 1499 maximum 30%, after 1499 only 2 lakhs. Pre-construction interest in current year, post-construction interest will be clubbed together. If the loan is taken before 1499, then maximum of 30,000 will be allowed as deduction. But if it is taken after 1499, the maximum of 2 lakhs rupees will be allowed as deduction. I hope you have understood the chapter. Please subscribe. Please comment if you have any problem. I am there for you all. Bye. Signing off.